The United States and others, with the UN effectively sidelined by Russia and China, must join together and find other ways to put pressure on the Assad government. Now, why do we mention what's happening in Syria? Because ultimately, part of the solution to achieving change in Tehran involves change in Damascus. Now, helping the Syrian people is a profound way of helping ultimately, the Iranian people. Once change comes to Syria, it will be much more difficult for the government of Tehran to argue that there cannot be change there. So as we look to see how to continue to apply pressure in Iran and how to engineer democratic change in Iran, we can take confidence in the dynamic that we saw in 2009 and look ahead to see what might happen in Iran in 2013 and whether these fissures will continue to grow wider between the regime and its people. No wonder that the Ayatollah recently, I think last fall, said maybe we don't need to have a president. Yes, we do need to have a responsible president in Tehran. Now, turning finally to the issue of Camp Ashraf, this is an issue that I first encountered early in my tenure as the Assistant Secretary of State for Public Affairs at the State Department. I met with a delegation of concerned relatives of the residents of Camp Ashraf and have followed it keenly, since then. Now, I do think that it is of significance that at the end of last year there was this agreement negotiated by the United Nations with Iraq, and as many of us have said, it's a tribute to all of you and to Mrs. Rajavi that you have been so flexible and have been so forthcoming in trying to meet the requirements of this potential, this agreement and now this potential process. Now it's vitally important for the international community and the United States to turn this process into reality, and as many have said, with full appreciation and respect for dignity and fundamental human rights. Now, in this political world that we live in, politicians talk about the art of the possible, but everything that we hope to achieve with respect to Camp Ashraf is absolutely possible. It's just as Ed Rendell said earlier, it means the international community, including the United States, must simply do the right thing. Now, in this context, various countries are understandably asking, okay, we're going to be asked to help and support this process. What is the United States going to do? The United States has stated firmly and appropriately that it supports this UN process, and the United States needs to be an active part of the solution. And the best way to support this process is to finish the process that started well over a year ago regarding the foreign terrorist organization designation. The United States has made a political as well as a moral commitment to help protect the residents of Camp Ashraf, and it requires doing everything possible to make sure that all aspects of this process are respected, people are secure, people are safe, their dignity and their human rights are fully respected. Now, the United States must support this process. Now, there are a number of ways to accomplish this, but the only thing that the United States cannot do is stay on the sidelines. Thank you very much.